this.
Hold on. Let's see this. Wait. Go back.
What? This one?
Damn.
Dang. Wait a minute.
That's tight.
That's a nice little train.
Oh, sick 4-car.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, dude.
Absolutely.
Good job. Whoa, show me the other one.
This one right here?
Yeah.
That's tight.
See, I got to view that firsthand today. Firsthand. Just like a couple feet away. It's such a pleasure chasing you.
Don't try and gas me up because I gas you up. Don't.
No.
I think I always say this every time we do these videos. I'm like, when Larry gets, if Larry hasn't said this in the vlogs, every driver, at least after every session, will be like, dude, I saw Larry. I got so hyped. He got behind me, and like either you push it too hard because you're trying to impress Larry, and you got Larry with the big cameras behind you, or you nail it and you're super stoked.
Well, people kind of complain a little bit that I bully people off track.
Good. That's how it should be. It's like put up or show up. That's what I like. I love shooting with you. It's always an honor.
Well, I thank you so much for not doing an FD takeoff.
Yes.
See, you know, in Formula Drift, for those of you guys who don't know, in order to kind of gain an advantage, you like jump the gun and you just flat out try to get as much traction to the ground as possible and use all your power and then you run away. And when people do that to me, I'm like, I'm trying to help you.
They're like, he's like, I'm trying to be as close as possible. Maybe enter at a lower speed and then just.
Well,
is there Supra you're driving? Is that stock?
That one is stock, bone stock. Wow. It has the same tires that were on it last year. So it's basically from the dealership.
Yeah.
That's how stock it is.
Not gonna do. Yeah, you were telling me that they were just dry rotted. And
they were dry, but you know, I don't have any excuses or anything. It's a slower...
You keep up really well though.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
When you're behind me, I'm normally watching you. Just I'm like, okay, like seeing where you are, and I never like see a big gap. And I'm not the fastest guy here, but I'm definitely not the slowest, and I'm always impressed.
Listen, it was such a fun moment for me. I looked over, and it's like 2 white Supras, you know? And
it's sick.
I think it's so cool. And you, for whatever reason, you really like this chassis, huh?
Best chassis I've ever driven for drifting.
Why?
I love it. Because it has because it's BMW. It's all BMW geometry. So the suspension and the forward bite is immense. And I've never driven, I'm like a Z33 boy and an S chassis boy, and I've never driven any E46, E36 or anything. So it's like those characteristics like E46, E36, E90, like live underneath the shell. And
you're like killing the game in the Z chassis, you know, podiuming pretty much anytime you're driving that thing at hot pit. And with this, like there's still, I'm guessing, a lot more development to go.
Yeah, so it's interesting you touched on that. So my stock Z, I've done really well on it. I think our last season we did 5 different podiums out of 8 events, which was awesome. And that is literally a stock driveline car with WiseFab. That's all it is, and a slight tune.
The people that you're driving against, no slouch either.
Yeah,
like,
there's a few FD cars,
FD drivers.
and then a bunch of just big Pro-Am cars. So I've had such great success with that, and I've loved that. We're so busy, and I'm not an FD driver, and the idea of maintenance and all that stuff is tough sometimes. So the stock Z is great, because to show up, drive, and learn to drive a slow car, you can keep up with anyone. That's kind of like what I was always taught. So when we did this car, we were like, let's do a car that's a stock driveline, that is a copycat in spirit of the 370Z. So the only things this car has is an angle kit and an e-brake.
Who ran your door?
I think that was our last comp. I think it was either Rome, or it could have been Rudy, or maybe it was Grant. Grant's hit me a few times in this car. Grant has more hits on this car than any other person I've driven with. So this car is just a downpipe and tune and WiseFab.
That's it?
That's it.
So I know you had to go through hoops to even find this car. This is like a diamond in the rough. Yeah. For whatever reason, you know, Toyota can't make these fast enough.
Yeah.
And I've had a chance to drive a manual one at the launch. I haven't seen another one since then.
And how great is the manual?
So good.
It's so good. So a lot of people think this is an automatic that I swapped a manual gearbox. This is a manual, like came out months ago, manual. So when the idea of doing a Supra was a thought, we were like, dude, if we could get our hands on a manual Supra and dodge the 30K markup and just accept that you're gonna spend 60 grand on a brand new car, but it's a drift car, this would be a really cool platform. Well, it was, but the stock ECU is so smart. It's not like Z's. It's not like 240s where you could just unplug the ABS module and like the car doesn't care what you do. Like traction control won't. We've done more development on the coding side just to trick the ECU because there's so many things that this car uses for traction control. There's TPS, there's wheel speed sensors, there's TPMS, there's crash sensors, there's G sensors. All these things relate to turning off traction control. And it's taken us months and months to drive it, have it work, and then have a new thing freak out, figure out how to code that, code it out, drive it, have it freak out, code it out. We're about almost 8 months in. It works majority of the time. The last competition, it freaked out. The power steering rack, because it's still the electric, so you could drift with one finger. It's awesome, but it's very temperamental. Whenever we're, for example, I'll keep this brief for everyone who understands the drifting concept of chasing. If I tap someone with my tire, right, and my tire is on someone's door, when you're tapping that door, that tire is actually slowing down, and then the outside right wheel is still going fast. So when you bump people too hard, the rack freaks out because the wheel speed sensors are seeing one wheel is going slower than the other wheel at highway speeds, and it thinks you're doing like a 360, and it kills power steering. We haven't figured out how to code that out, but it's issues like that.
So then that means you can't even left foot brake because then...
So you can, not too aggressively. So like when I'm driving with you and when I over-rotated today, that was all left foot brake just to pitch, but it's temperamental. It's just figuring out that fine line. It works 90% of the time.
It's interesting because nobody's ever really done this with this platform, with the stock driveline, right? Frederick Osbo drives that one that Papadakis built, but that's a Frankenstein.
I called Steph the day I bought this. I'm like, Steph, what can you tell me? He goes, nothing. I don't know anything about it, because they gutted everything. Yeah,
everything standalone, no like the original ECU, none of that. What has been done is time attack, right? There's a mini time attack cars, and you know, talking to people like Jackie Ding, he's like duct tape like modules and stuff together.
So we have learned a lot from him. We learned a lot from a bunch of other, Beamer Geeks has been the biggest help, and the time attack guys and the drag guys did a lot of legwork for us on figuring out modules and EDC and all that type of stuff. But, you know, drifting is in a definitely different category. We're asking the car to fundamentally do things that time attack and drag aren't. So we are paving the way and figuring things out, which is awesome. But we also knew that we were signing up for it when we did this. We knew it was gonna be a trial and error, and that was kind of like, you know, we signed up for it. So it's frustrating, but when it works, which most of the time it does, it's epic and it's great and we love it.
It looks so good. So this actually has your own body kit on it.
So this is the 300 kit. And this one's special. This has, we did this all in like prototype carbon. So it's like carbon Kevlar. So all this stuff, if it was off the car, you can like literally bend it. We're trying to learn a lot. And although race parts and drift spares and stuff like that isn't the highest seller, for me, it's my passion. So as the owner, I'm the one who's really
Wait, so this is one piece then?
Yes, that's all one piece.
Wow. Yeah. So this is just wrapped over the carbon?
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
That is so cool. So then the kit consists of this.
So it's front lip, front bumper extension.
Got it.
Fenders. Lower fender. Full side skirt. Rear. And then rear bumper extension. And then wing. Yep.
I love this wing so much. I think this really kind of adds to the car. I mean,
it's my favorite thing.
It's just so cool.
It's my favorite thing.
That's the thing. I really like the Mark IV because it had the wing.
Yep.
And it's almost like too flowy from the factory. And this just kind of breaks it up. I think
this is our #1 seller. This was the first product we ever made. This is the V2 version. The V1 version was the first product we ever made. This has updates on it, so the fitment is better and it's easier and it's recessed and it has, you know, printed end caps and whatnot, but definitely my favorite piece on the car.
So you did do dual caliper setup.
Yep, so Seems Legit Garage was prototyping this as we were developing it, and they were like, hey, we actually think we have something that works. Do you want to test it for us? So that's their kit. And we also have a one-piece drive shaft too that they made for us as well. So they see, and I'm calling it, and LZ thinks the same thing too, which is why we started doing Drift Supra stuff at the same time. We think this is gonna be the go-to chassis. It's gonna be the E46 in 10 years.
And that's why he's trying to develop the automatic version, because the automatic version is the cheapest and it's the most readily available.
And now with all this DTC thing from the guys over at HCG, it's wild. It's wild. It's gonna be really cool to see where that goes.
And then on the outside, another thing that you changed is the carbon roof.
Yes, this was HGK. It was like one of those things where like, we're gonna cage the car, we might as well take the roof off for it too, and this is an awesome little pickup. It adds to it big time.
And then angle-wise, actually, can we pop the hood?
Yeah. I gotta show you the inside too. The inside's one of our favorite pieces of the whole entire car.
So this has actually really surprised me that it's still stock turbo.
Yeah. So we wanted to keep everything stock. Other than a downpipe, it is a stock turbo on 100 octane, putting down like a little over 500 and 500 foot-pounds of torque.
That's really good.
It's about, we can go 30 more horsepower with the turbo, but that you're asking for it to.
And then I'm assuming you don't want to change the turbo because the lag would be too much.
The lag, and I actually, on my other Supra, I have an A90 with like a Dock Race manifold in the Garrett G-Series, and it's actually really great, and it's good for like 7. I wanted something that was like 500, and that's exactly what this car gets us.
Just a little bit step up from your NAZ that you're used to driving.
Yeah. But it's great. I mean, literally just an off-the-shelf Venturi intake and CSF cooling parts. Injectors are stock, fuel pumps are stock, charge pipes are stock, literally a stock car.
How does it do in terms of cooling?
So at one of our last competitions in California, when we had our heat wave, it was like 104, 105. We ran into problems of it getting too hot, even with the cooling we had. And this is, again, the struggle of this car. When this car reaches 20 degrees over its like operating cooling temp, so like 240 cooling temp, 250, it pulls timing. And we don't know if it's from coolant temp or from IAT temp or from engine oil temp. We can't see that on the back end. So when it is hot, this car is a struggle, and it will pull power. We'll let you drive, but it's like you lose 150 horsepower.
And that's one of the things that the time attack guys have been telling me. They basically get one lap.
Yes.
You know, one lap, and then every other lap after that is just a waste because you're just down on power.
Yeah, but places like here, 75, 85, dude, we could do 100-mile entries and it doesn't bat an eye. But when we were at those California desert temps, it has bit us in the butt this year, but it's relatively great.
Let's talk about the suspension. So you have a KW setup here.
Yeah, so we did KW. Right now we are on WiseFab setup. So we have a 24K spring rates in the front just to tighten it up. Normally we want to have a sway bar on here. We just haven't added it yet, but we're just playing around with how stiff we want the front end to be. So we have KWs on the front, WiseFab, and then, like I said, we have stock steering rack, and then you use an E90 M3 for the WiseFab. So it's an E90 M3 rotor and caliper.
Okay.
Yeah,
because it really brings it out a lot.
Oh God, yeah.
You actually need the kit.
Yes, you need the kit, and we're running almost negative 7 degrees of camber. So if you didn't have, like, when this is like 0, it sticks out. But when you add all the camber, it works.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts about the A90 Supra is the fact that the top of the fender is the hood.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting how you guys designed this as an extension. I was wondering, the car first came out, I was like, what are all the over-fender National guys doing?
I know. It was weird.
So you had to figure this out.
Yeah, which actually, it works out quite nicely, because once what sucks is you have to trim the hood to do it, which again, that's the sacrifice.
But this is an aftermarket hood.
Yeah, so this hood's actually from a company called Sabre Designs. It's a very beautiful hood. Super light.
And it's actually functional.
It is functional. It's beautiful. I wasn't a fan of too many other hoods out there. So this one worked up nice. So you gotta cut both of them, but the price you pay to have it look good. But what I really like is the interior.
Yeah, can you go on that side?
Yeah,
and we'll talk.
So on the interior of the car, we had this idea, like my 370, definitely overkill, to keep full interior and have AC, heater, Apple CarPlay, kept us factory subwoofers in the car.
No way.
I have the backup camera where I can leave the backup camera on when I'm drifting. We can do all these little fun things.
No way.
It's pretty cool. Again, especially like we're at the track, it's super hot, we'll be in the pits and I'll be blasting AC and everyone's in their cool suits and we're just...
Who made this?
What was that?
Who built this?
Me and Dylan did. Yeah. So
this is so good.
Yeah, the cage was awesome too. That was from Cage Kits. You know, their shit is just laser design, laser cut, and you just have to weld it. So dash took a long time. You have to cut a ridiculous amount out to keep the AC, and all the HVAC and all that stuff. But
I'm really surprised because there's a bar that goes through, right? How the heck?
It took us like 2 days just on the dash. Dylan busted his ass on it and he did great.
Amazing.
It's one of the coolest things. The CarPlay and keeping all that stuff. Wireless charger.
I love that the rubber's still here.
Yeah.
And you have to like cut some parts of it for it to clear.
Yep. And then the doors, we like kept like the trunk button, so that's like the harness is all tucked up here, so you still have like good old buttons and all that type of stuff.
That is incredible. I can't believe you went through that great lengths.
Yeah, definitely overkill.
So it still has AC?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It helps in, again, unnecessary, but when I'm out there on the grid, I have the AC on. And I'll just kick it off before we start driving.
Amazing.
And then we have to, so with the HEK Hydro, you have to remove the little like sport button, right? So we have a little mount that's down here. So okay. I still have to disable traction control when I drive. So when I turn the car on, I'll literally go sport mode, turn off traction control, and it's all mounted. And you got the wireless charger. You got all the
still works?
Oh yeah. You got all the.
Wait, all of this still works?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Like literally, it is a street car. You could drive this every single day and have every function. Pull up maps. I don't have the mirror in.
No, but I understand that. But what about the radar and stuff?
We disabled it and just coded it out.
Really?
So
okay.
It doesn't even know that it's there.
Yeah, because at first I know one of the big problems like people were having when they were taking these to the track, they would put like a windshield banner.
Yeah, and then it freaks out because it's the auto drive feature freaks out. Yeah. So yeah, we were able to code all that stuff out. And don't get me wrong, when I turn this car on, you have a litter of warning lights. Like my dash is pretty much lit up like a Christmas tree, and then also you have like contact Toyota, brake pads, can't see where the road is, stabilization off, driver safety off, power assist, you know, so you just click through them all.
I wish there was like mine's like that too.
Yeah.
I wish there was just a way to disable all of that.
There are people that are working on CAN system. I don't want to blow anyone's load, but there are some amazing companies out there that I hope by the end of this year we'll have a plug-and-play ECU that will solve every person's problem that is trying to do this. So it's coming.
That would be great. And you actually PPF this too?
Yeah, yeah. In this cage, just steel it. Just masked it off, and we did like 8 cans of steel it. Came out amazing. And then just did a at-home little PPF on the bars.
Can we take a look at the back here?
Yeah.
So nobody else has done this?
No one's done it at all. Well, there's like the FD guys, but drifting-wise, no. It's about me and Adam. And then again, we're the factory driveline guys that are just trying to figure it out. Yeah. But then Adam didn't keep any of the rear interior bits, I don't think.
Right, but he also didn't start off with a manual one.
Yes.
Which you paid full price and then some.
Yes, it was worth it. It was worth it.
What a great story though. Somebody's got to do it.
And that's the thing. I was like, someone's got to do it. And I was like, we documented every process on how to do this.
Like this is what I mean. Like the modules, you have to leave.
Yeah.
What I don't even know what that does.
Neither do I. There are so many, and the fuse panel on the side. And we relocated everything. So we took everything off, extended some of the wires so we could tuck everything up because there's crash modules, this and that. And then even under this, we have
the battery and stuff.
Battery. And there's more modules back there. The kill switch. This module was a big nightmare for us. I think that's one of the, I'm gonna butcher it now, but it's like a passenger airbag control module or something. And I don't know, it was a problem for us for some reason, and we had to like replace it and depin and do all this weird stuff. She's awesome. It's super cool.
So cool. It really is amazing.
It's worked for us for them, like, you know, for everything we've needed it for, and really was supposed to be like a demo jam car. And it's got us 2 podiums this year, which is still awesome. One was at LZ's and one was on the West Coast. So it's cool. She's a ripper. She's super rad.
So cool. Well, thanks for showing us this build. We have 1 track session left. Hopefully I can follow you again.
Yeah, I'll feel like I'm stealing everyone's time because that'll be, I've already had two runs with you, which I feel lucky getting 2. So if I get a 3rd one, I'll be sure not to.
I love it. It's actually fun for me because, especially when you're following other people too, it's just cool to see what everybody else is doing in the train.
Yeah, you see everyone's line for like what it is, which is pretty cool.
Well, thanks for showing us this. I love these cars, as you know.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to get another one just for the street.
So the one, the gray one is literally just a track car?
Yeah, just track. Yeah, I don't drive that on the street. I mean, it's too much attention. It's so low, too.
Damn, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and so is my GR86. It's just a track car, too.
Yeah, that's the That's the drift car.
No, I converted that. I converted that into a time attack car.
Oh, it's time attack. And then there was a Z that was a drift car.
My 350. My 350. You're one to talk. You are one to talk.
You have a lot, though.
No, yeah.
You have a lot, too.
I'm gaining, but I'll never surpass you guys. You and Adam, carcane. You guys have a carcane problem.
Yeah, we have a problem. I agree with that. I really do.
Well, always good to see you.
Of course.
See you in the next one. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to support us directly, go to LarryChenPrints.com. I print and sign every single one of these. This is the perfect gift, or it's the perfect piece of art for your wall.